Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright, I thought I'd give you another update about what I've been doing the last week or so. Okay, here's T's Wagons. Just wanted to show you how easily detachable the fiddle yard is. So that's sitting underneath the layout at the moment. So that basically just sits on the edge and sits on the table down there with my printer on it. So if I need to use the printer, I take this off. But when I'm working on it, it's just easy as to lift it off. Just a matter of connecting up a couple of crocodile clips to the end of the layout, and she's all powered up and ready for operations. The other section will be on this end here, going about 500 mil that way, where there'll be two sidings, one for network rail and the other one is just additional storage for wagons when they come into T's yard, waiting to go into the repair shop. Alright, we'll go a bit closer and we'll have a look, and as you can see, there's a network rail class 122, which is obviously was converted and became a class, one of the class 97s. Alright, a bit closer. So I'll bring up a photo just on screen about now, showing you what it looked like when I bought it. I bought it from TMC in Yorkshire, probably about 18 months ago, 20 months ago. Shortly after I first entered, decided to have a go in O scale, or 7mm on O gauge track. It was probably the second or third locomotive piece of rolling stock I bought after a Great Western pannier tank, a Depot one. So, and at the time it was on special. I've sort of always been more of a modern image modeler, but that's what I could get at the time, and the price I could afford. And being a modeler based here in New Zealand, I don't have the choice of going to my local model shop and basically being able to pick what I want and the various liveries I want. So anyway, I guess the thought behind was that I'll show you another picture. I repainted it into blue because the previous layout, Pepper Road, I was modelling sort of 1980s, mid to late 1980s, and I had some BR blue stock. Now, some of you guys might criticise me for butchering some of my models and changing them around, but as I've said, I buy what I can. I've bought a bit off Alice Clark because it's very well priced, and the freight's not too bad here to New Zealand, those kinds of things. But for example, I have sold a few pieces of rolling stock in recent times due to some financial constrictions and sort of changing my era of modelling. So I'm in the process of building things up again. But for example, Sentinel I bought was in BR Black. The class of 8 I had, which unfortunately developed an issue with one of the conrods. That was BR Black, and I ended up painting that into BR Blue, hand painting, which I wasn't totally happy with. Just over here, the Class 05 was an NCB in a light green, and I've just recently custom painted that. So anyway, looking online and looking at thinking, well, I'm a modern image modelling now. Currently, I don't have the space to model passenger trains because A, they're quite long, they need stations until I get a dedicated room where I can have an L shape or a U shape layout, point to point. Wasn't really working, so even in the blue guys, was sitting in a box. I couldn't really run it, and I was trying to think, how can I use it, because I didn't really want to sell it. It is a good runner. I had a look online, typed in, googled modified bubble cars, and came up with some images. And there was one 977968, which most of the photos I had had another name on there. I can't remember it. If I do, I will put up a photo. Actually, I've got the photo here. 1 second. Here we go. Yeah, so this is one of the photos that gave me the inspiration. Carillion. But I kind of really wanted to add a network rail aspect to this layout. So I've put made up printed off some a logo and stuck it on. Now, once again, it's not easy for me to get decals necessarily, but I'm going to look to see. These are fairly easy removable, so I might look at getting some made and posted out. But the postage ends up being heaps more than the actual cost of the what I'm ordering. So trying to find a model shop or a hobby centre that can sort of help me out with some decals for some upcoming projects, and perhaps I can buy some wagons off them and do a sort of a bigger purchase and save on the freight. So any of you guys got some suggestions of what I can do in that regard? I've bought off TMC, a few things off eBay, 3 Hampshire models. They've got a good range. Rails of Sheffield. If anyone knows whether any of these bigger stores can ship to New Zealand and help me out on decals and a decent range of O-gauge rolling stock, and will sort of ship it internationally, be most appreciated. So anyway, it's not totally finished. The roof is got to be, so you can see it's a lighter grey on there, and there is a red stripe, and I've just noticed now on the camera, so there is a bit of blue showing there, so I've got to mask up and redo the roof and just weather it lightly too. I've done the sides. I'm quite happy. Last night I just weathering the under tray. I'm just going to tone some of that down, add a bit of a black wash, but yeah, quite happy how that came up. But the body's going to be kept, the sides were always kept fairly clean, but so yeah, the other thing I've got to do is just cover up the destination board there, and try and find a way of putting a lens on the third centre light. I just drilled out a hole there, and obviously this Dapple model has a centre light that was being a BR green originally. The destination boards were there, but yeah, fairly happy how this has come up. What's happened here? Sorry, I was going to change my point and just get it to run, but I've just recently been adding some weeds between the rails and what have you, so the other thing I've got to do is got to go in and black out some of the windows I've painted over. Obviously this does have interior lights, see I've put that on there. A little bit of light showing through, but it actually comes up okay there. So the sends of light. So I put a lens in behind it, but I've got to come up with the one on the front. But yeah, so I've got some overtime coming up in the next couple of months, so I'm hoping to order an ESU decoder. This Class 122 is one of Dapol's batch 2 second reruns, which fixed some of the running issues the earlier ones had, and then also changed from a 21 pin decoder to a Plex 22. So I'm looking to get Plex 22 ESU with the right sound file. You said that. Just noticed I've been having a few issues with it sort of getting traction. The point is not properly. Alright, we won't worry about running that. I've just got to work out, unstick the point frogs there, as I say, and also give them a bit of a clean, because I've been adding some track details. So anyway, I'm already been going 12 minutes now, so just a quick rundown. So hard standing has sort of been done. I ran out of, I don't have any more of the concrete texture, so I just sort of painted this area here with the shed. So this is obviously the fueling siding, so I've just got to stain, get some black washes and just sort of stain some of the ballast there where the locos are refueled, and some very minor servicing might occur. As per the prototype, I'll see if I can put up a shot of the real T-shard again. There's going to be a couple of little yellow or white sheds which have the pumping equipment. There's going to be sort of a chain link fence along the back here, and then an assortment of weeds and debris. When I sort of looked at some of the photos, it does look fairly rough, fairly overgrown in places, and I sort of quite like that that sort of look. So that's, I don't want everything pristine. I don't want sort of the N-scale ballast and sort of clay between tracks and totally smooth terrain, and a weedless environment that you see on some layouts. So the idea is this main section layout is 1200 by 600 millimeters. I want to add in as much detail as possible, so I've printed off some speed limit signs and some little signs to go on posts. So in the next video you'll see those. Over here in the corner, looking at the photos, there's like an office building, which would be for the yard. So that's sort of going to be in the corner with a couple of smaller little buildings around it, and a little gravel road that leads off scene. Alright, and this area here, which I've just added a brown umber type paint on it at the moment, is going to be just sort of, it's going to be a mixture of a gravel road winding through here with grass and overgrown debris around the trackside area, and it's going to form part of the entrance to just the works yard for Network Rail. So which will probably, the road will probably continue on to the next module for the network rail siding. So that siding will be where I can stable the bubble car, or put some ballast wagons, some works wagons, maybe even some track machinery in time. Really would quite like a temper unit, you know, that kind of thing, but probably very expensive. So yeah, light in this little side office there, possibly a light in the shed. Obviously I've got to finish the roof and finish extending it down to the end of the board. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. I've just placing some scenic items. I've still got some more bits and pieces that came off the old layout. It's just a matter of looking at composition and placing things prototypically. Some safety entry signs to go on the end of the shed there. I still want some like wagon jacks and maybe like a gantry crane just down here as well. And I need to work out some way of adding some LED lighting, because obviously I've got my SN 3.5 NZR layout just above this, so under here gets a bit darker. Alright, and my signals are working, so I've just got it wired to a manual switch. So I flick it down, that turns green. On the end there, see that's red. Move it the other way and that becomes green. So always got opposing colours. Alright, and there's a little light on the end of that shed. That's an older British Rail sign, so it's going to be updated to either network rail or something that suits that late sectorisation / privatisation era where this is sort of going to be run in. Alright guys, still plenty of projects on the go. It's what I love about this hobby. So great for my mental health and probably the mental health of so many of us. There's always something to do, always something to keep the mind busy. So it's the greatest hobby on earth for a reason. Like, subscribe, share, and yeah. You can also just leave comments or send me an email if you want to get in contact or ask any more questions. Thanks for now from T's Wagons. Bye for now.